before I start, I just want to say I hope everyone watching this is doing well as can be expected through this global insanity. It's really strange times, and it's really difficult times financially for a whole lot of people. I'm not going to harp on coronavirus, but I just really, truly hope you're doing okay. And we go a lot further in life when we have a support base. And some people have that built into their families and their friends and stuff, but a lot of people don't. This channel is coming up on 1,000 road partners. I don't like the other word that YouTube uses for them, but they're my friends, and they're not mine. I don't know them. But that's beside the point. I was considering making this channel 100% private once I reached 1,000, and just make it, a network of people that support each other and help each other reach the top of the cool world. But there's problems with doing it. My brother calls it a private cult. It's not a cult. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. I want to. The thought of doing that really inspires me. And as far as the monetization stuff and all that goes, I don't need YouTube's money. I don't want it, and I'm not real big on making them money. I treated a lot of people really bad back in 2018, and this isn't about money. I have other ways to make money. So, take it for what it's worth. It's what I've been thinking about, and all along, as always, just keep on improving and keep on taking it up another notch until, this is the place to be if you're a player. I have all kinds of plans with the pros, and I know 12 or 15 top level pros who would be happy to do an interview for this channel and perhaps do it live, and so you guys could ask them questions and get answers right away, right from their mouths. I really want to do that, but I also really want to do a lot of things. I just want to keep on improving it, and just really the thought of, you see, I'm not big on having 30,000 subscribers, quote, because I won't be able to give 30,000 people the attention that they deserve. And then you have players ranging from beginners to almost there. And I can't make a video or even a series of videos to focus on all their needs. It gets complicated, and I really don't want to get too deep into it, but things are going to change pretty soon. The channel's growing fast, and I appreciate every one of you guys, and now I'm going to stop rambling, and we're going to get on to this here video production. this is where I'd like to get everybody that watches this channel for pool videos. I'd like to get everybody here thinking 9 balls ahead. And this way you can see where these patterns change as you go through the game and as you make subtle little mistakes that, you know, everyday players aren't seeing. When they see people run out, they think, well, they did it perfect. And they're not doing it perfect. Most often, and I'm talking top level pros, are constantly reevaluating the plan and changing the plan. And once your brain was trained to see all 9 balls like this, you could put on a YouTube video of Shane Van Boning playing, and you get to see how he's not as perfect as you once thought he was. He gets out of line. It's just not apparent to to regular everyday players because they're just not seeing it. But if you could see all 9 balls ahead and you can watch these guys play, you'll see, oh, he's changing the rest of the plan because he got a little bit out of line on the 3 ball. So now instead of shooting the 4 in that pocket and the 5 in that pocket and playing it this way, he's now going to play it another way. The best I have seen as far as staying in line on all 9 balls, I think, is Josh Filler. And when he's really on his game, Jason Shaw. Those guys are seeing all 9 balls from the break, and they're, well, it's usually 7 balls, sometimes 6 balls, because they're making all these balls on the break. But they pick a pattern from the lowest ball to the 9 ball, and they stay in line better than anybody. So they're playing from the start. It just seems to be the right plan, and they can execute it perfect, and it's just like tic-tac-toe, and boom, it's over. But most other top-level pros, they get out of line somewhere in the game, and they have to readjust. And that's why I'd like to see everybody here thinking 9 balls ahead. And once your brain is trained to think like this, you just automatically become a better player because you're seeing the whole picture. You're not just seeing little pieces of the picture. But I think I can show you what I'm talking about with just going 4 balls at a time. So let's go ahead to the video, and then it's going to be a quick cut back to another graphic with just the 1, 2, 3, and the 4. The thing to focus on in this first 4 ball pattern is we have to get straight in on the 3 ball. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult to make the 4 and get on the 5. And I know the 5 isn't in this picture, but that'll be clear to you in the next graphic. There's a couple of different ways to do this. I chose to just stun this ball out and just draw it out to get straight in on the 2 ball line, and then to just draw the 2 ball straight back. But I have to be pinpoint here, and I have to come back right on that intersection of the 2 and the 3 right there. I have to be able to roll down on this 3 ball and get a little bit under that 4 ball line, but not much. I really have to be pinpoint on that shot too. An easier way to do this would have been to draw the hell out of the 1 ball and arch it back up under this 3 ball to right about here, and then I would have the angle to go off that rail and to bounce off it right on the 3 ball line. And this way I wouldn't have had that be absolutely perfect on the 2 ball. It's a little bit shaky, but once the 5 ball comes into the picture, and in this particular example, we should be thinking 5 balls ahead, not just 4. And this is another good example of why I'd like to get everyone who watches this channel for pool videos thinking 9 balls ahead. But let's just break here and go ahead and take this 1 ball shot, and then things will start opening up for you. Straight bottom here, you're just trying to get straight in on the 2 ball in this example. You'll see if you look closely that I barely nudged that 3 ball, but it doesn't upset it, and I'm still on the 2 ball line. The reason I want to get a little bit under that 4 ball line is because I intend to draw the cue ball off the 4 ball and get right about here on the 5. And at that point, I'm drawing again off the 5 ball, and don't forget the 3 ball won't be in our way, all the way down the table up under the 6 ball line. Now I know the 6 ball is not in the graphic, so that's going to make perfect sense to you in the following graphic. For now, just know we need to be straight in on this 3, so I'm drawing straight back off this 2 and trying to stop the cue ball right at that intersection to follow the 3 ball up to right up under that 4 ball line. So that'll be crystal clear to you in the next graphic. And now you see a need, or why there's a need to think all 9 balls ahead. It's another draw shot, straight bottom here, and yep, I'm a draw junkie. You know the plan. Now the 6 ball is in the picture, and my intention is to get up under on the right hand side, according to our view right here, of this 6 ball. And that's because of where the 7 ball is. And again, I'm using the draw shot to stun it out onto the right angle to get from the 7 to the 8. So you see we keep on pushing, and you see you're not getting the whole picture here. So I think in my next video I'm going to start planning this and using the graphics for 5 balls ahead, and just keep on graduating you guys until you get to all 9. Straight top center ball, you're just following this 3 ball down and just a speck under that 4 ball line so we can draw out for the right shot on the 5 to the 6. Normally you don't want to put yourself in a position where you have to get absolute pinpoint precision, but in this case we do. And what you can't really see with this angle here is I went a little bit too long on that 4 ball shot. So now we're going to cut away for another graphic. I'm going to show you where we're at. I'm going to show you how the plan changes. On some tables, depending on what kind of cloth is on the table, I could put bottom right on this and kill the angle and still draw it back up for the right position on the 5 ball. It might be a little bit far away from the 5, but I would still have the perfect angle. It's all about getting the right angle. And I'd still have the right angle on the 5 to draw all the way down the table, back up under that 6 ball. And now you can see why I want to be up under that 6 ball line, so I can just draw back in the right position on that 7 ball. And I need to be on the left hand side of that 7 ball line so I can get the right position on the 8 to shoot it in that bottom left hand corner. So going back to this 4 ball, I just can't get the right position on the 5 on this particular table with this generic really bad cloth on it. It's going to slide too much, and I'm going to wind up above the 5 for a really hard shot on the 5. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to play it safe and just stun it out to get straight in on this 5 ball line. And now the 6 ball is going to change, and the 7 ball is going to change. And I'll show you in the next graphic of how this plan changes. Just a hair bottom here. I'm not trying to draw it back. I'm just stunning it out onto the 5 ball line. And now I'm straight in on the 5. This was the original plan, and this is now our plan. And what you can't see in this graphic is that the 9 ball's rated out here, which is, in that scenario, you don't want to get on this side of the 8 ball. You want to stay on this side, because getting on that side is going to take, again, pretty much pinpoint precision, and your margin for error is much higher on this side of the 8, which is why I was playing the whole game to get on that side of the 8. So now all I can do is either roll forward, stop the cue ball, or draw back, because I'm straight in on the 5. So I wind up drawing back to right about here. That leaves me with an issue on getting from the 6 to the 7 and the right position on the 7 in order to play that 8 ball down there in the bottom left hand corner. It's gonna be a little bit tricky to get from the 6 to the right position on the 7 in order to get to that side of the 8. And from here I'm just going to let the video roll and show you what happens. Yeah, but once again, it's straight bottom, and I'm just drawing it back about a foot. I'm putting a pretty easy stroke on this, so I don't want to get too carried away with it. I'm taking a good look at this. This is a little trickier than it looks like here. There's no way to bounce off this rail to get behind that 7 to shoot it in this side pocket. I wish there were, but there isn't. So my intention, well, let's cut away and I'll show you the graphic. This is what I intended to do, but I didn't draw back good enough. I didn't put a good enough stroke on it, and by the time the cue ball got to the 6 ball, it had no more bottom on it, and it was turning the top. So I get on the wrong side of the 7. I wind up getting here for a total disaster. And making matters a little bit worse is there's a couple of rail birds in the building watching me play, and they like to give me hell every time I get out of line. And this is particularly out of line. It's tricky. I mean, you don't want to put a ton of bottom on it and stroke the hell out of it. You're probably going to scratch in that side. So it's just a little bit of bottom, but you still have to stroke it, and that's where I went wrong. I put a really bad stroke on this, and I let up on it, and I just kind of turned into a wuss on this shot, as you'll see right here. Oh boy. This was shot in 2017, guys. Give me a break. I know that was really weak, and now we are in big time trouble. But this is good because I get to show you a little something right here. What would Efren do? That's the big question you should ask yourself. What would Efren do? He would probably go down to that top rail on this side right here, hit it somewhere around here, and come all the way back down table for a perfect shot on the 8 ball. I don't like that shot because if you don't hit it right, you're most likely going to scratch, and if you don't scratch, you're most likely not going to get all the way back down table. And I say that as me in 2017. Today, that's the shot I would take. And another way to shoot this, and many pros would say this is the way to shoot it, is to shoot the 7 in that pocket and put a little bit of right hand draw on it and bounce off this rail and come back for a perfect shot on the 8 ball. And the problem with that is it makes the 7-ball shot really physically difficult to make. It makes the 7-ball really hard to make. I mean, you really going to have to be on your A game to consistently make that 7-ball in that corner. So I choose another way. And yeah, the route birds are giving me help because they can see what I'm about to do. Yeah, I'm going all the way down to this top route and bouncing off on the wrong side of the 8-ball. And the problem with that is your margin of error is very small. You have to get up under this 9-ball, but not too far down table to where you're at a crazy angle on this 8, because then you're going to have to shoot another crazy shot to get back on the 9. But that's the way I'm choosing to do it, and I'm choosing to try to get pinpoint perfect position on the 8. Crazy, probably the wrong way to do it. In fact, Efren's way is the best way to do it. But this is what I do, and you know, people have asked me if the route bothers me, the sharking. I love people watching me, but when they start getting in the game, it used to bother me a whole lot. Now I welcome it because I've learned over the years that you're always going to run into this. And if one person knows it bothers you, it's not going to be long before the whole world knows that the sharking bothers you and knocks you off your game. And you're never going to be able to combat it. You're never going to teach pool etiquette to the millions and millions and millions of players who play this game. So you can't beat it. So I've learned to just take it as a challenge. I actually welcome it because it's good practice in dealing with it, because you're always going to run into it, particularly out in the bars. If you play in the bars a lot, you're going to run into sharking a lot. So I use it as practice to be ready for it. And I actually see it as a challenge. So I really don't know what I'm going to title this. There's so many draw-junkies, sharking, and what would Efren do? Anyway, you probably know what we're going to do here after this graphic clip. And we're going to do a loop back before I shoot this 7. We're going to watch the whole game from start to finish, 1 through the 9. And just let the music roll and just sit back and dig on it. Thank you guys. We covered a lot of stuff in this video, particularly as my plans for the future channel. I'm really thinking hard on that, and we really are going to up this channel another 20 notches, and it's going to be the best channel, the best pool channel on the tube of you. Peace. I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to get through this, man.